The opinions expressed in this show are the views of the host and not necessarily that of WTRW, 94.3 The Talker, or the Bold Gold Media Group.
The following presentation is paid for by Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, who is solely responsible for its content. Portions transcribed.
All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
Hi, I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Welcome to the Real Estate Roundtable on 94.3 The Talker. I'm here with my husband, co-host, fellow realtor, Pat Devaney. How are you?
Very good. How are you today?
Wonderful. We have with us William Kelly, a.k.a. Billy Kelly, Bill Kelly. What do you like? What do you want me to call you?
Actually, I like William Kelly.
William Kelly, certified residential appraiser.
Sir William Kelly.
The sir part is optional at this point.
Certified residential appraiser with John Ruddy Appraisal Services, Inc. How are you?
Good, Jackie. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for being here with us.
Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Billy.
You've been here before. You know the drill, right?
I do.
We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m., where we discuss everything real estate. We have a full-time real estate office with many relentless realtors who've been listing, selling, and appraising real estate for 50-plus years.
During the week, feel free to email us with any questions you have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com. Or you can give us a call at 570-344-6724. And when you go to jruddy.com, click on the webcam tab and get a high-definition view of Dunmore Corners.
Live.
Live.
View.
It's a nice new camera up there. It's beautiful.
Check us out on social media. View our listings, search the MLS listings, and listen to archive radio shows by going to mobile-friendly jruddy.com, jruddy.com, where you can also see all the popular podcast apps that we feature our radio show on. Okay, William Kelly, can you give me a little rundown of who you are, what you do, where you do it, please?
Well, my name is William Kelly, and I'm a certified real estate appraiser in the state of Pennsylvania. I'm currently working out of your office, John A. Ruddy Appraisal Services, and I'm also working out of PennDOT's office. I'm doing appraisal work for District 4 PennDOT. We're acquiring land for right-of-way, and I've been doing that for about a year, and I've been working out of your office for about 10 years. And prior to all that, I did work with this business for about 15 years with a couple of local appraisers who trained me in this business.
Yes, and you go all over, Lackawanna, Luzerne, Pike, Wayne, Monroe. Am I missing anything?
Lackawanna, Luzerne, Monroe, Pike, Wayne. That pretty much covers my marketing area at this point.
Okay, very broad area. I want to talk to you. I don't know if you heard, but like a couple of weeks ago, we had the Lackawanna County Commissioner, Debbie Dominic, on, along with Pat Tobin, Director of Assessments with Lackawanna County. Did you hear the show about the reassessments?
I did. I listened to that earlier this weekend.
I'd like to know from a certified residential appraiser's perspective, please. How is this going to impact all of us? How does it impact the appraisal world, the real estate world? What do you see happening here with these reassessments?
With the reassessment, what I think it's going to come down to is basically they're just going to recut the pie, to break it down to layman's term. If they're collecting $40 million on assessed values right now, when the new assessment is released in roughly 2026, they have to stick true to that number. So they're just going to realign the taxation of the properties in the Lackawanna County.
So it's said, and I don't know, and time will tell, of course. I don't think there's anybody that has a crystal ball, but a third of property taxes will go up, a third of property taxes will go down, and a third will stay the same. And who knows, right? So they have to come in at that number.
Basically, that just supports the pie. That just supports the reevaluation of the total taxation. And yeah, a third should go up, a third should go down, and a third should stay about the same.
Okay, so let me ask you this, and I don't know if you can answer it, but this is where my mind goes. Last couple years, market values have risen throughout the various counties. Lackawanna County, and that's really what we're talking about here with this tax reassessment. So, even Scranton, 3 years ago, we were having a hard time selling properties in Scranton. They did sell, but obviously at a reduced price. And the other areas surrounding Scranton were always a little bit better in terms of market value. But every area has seen an increase in value since COVID, since the pandemic, right? So how does that affect the assessed value?
That's an interesting point. And the good news is it's probably not going to have that much effect on it because of the fact that the new appraised values will not go into effect until 2026. And the sale date, hopefully, of the comparable sales that they'll utilize to come to these values is going to be September 1st, 2024, tentatively. So they would take that back 1 year, I would imagine. And so it's a crystal ball now if the market stays in the pace it's going or if the market declines. Nobody knows what the market's going to do. But the sales between 2023 and 2024 are going to really impact your property's assessment.
Okay. So Pat Tobin and Commissioner Dominic both spoke to the fact that these appraisers are not going into a property. Now, as a certified residential appraiser, do you not go into properties?
Oh, no, I go in properties.
Right. So we're all going to get this little card in the mail, and we're going to all fill it out, correct?
Absolutely.
All right. So that's what they're going to be basing their information on.
Probably along with a couple other objects like MLS sheets. I'm sure they've got good data sources. You know, everybody under the sun or the rain cloud for today's matter for that has a Zillow app on their phone. So everybody knows everything about every house out there right now. There's a lot of transparency. So I don't think they're just stuck to this card. They can use other sources as well.
Okay.
She said they were going to use satellite imagery too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So when, from an appraisal standpoint, you go into a home, and this is a battle we often have as realtors. I'm a realtor, you're an appraiser. So when I go in to list a property, I'm sitting there, and the people, I walk through the property, and the people share with me all the added value since they purchased the home. A lot of times they have a finished basement. So how do you view finished basements in terms of square footage, added value, or walk-up attic, third floor?
Well, a finished basement, generally it's a basement, so it's underground. And to further explain that a little bit, if any portion of a level is underground, the whole level is underground. Therefore, it's not considered GLA, which is gross living area. It's considered finished basement, and it's valued in a separate line on the form of the UAD form that Fannie and Freddie uses for the secondary market.
So if you go into a house and you go down the steps, typically, even if it's just one corner of the house is underground and the rest is above grade, you have to consider that whole area below grade.
Absolutely, by ANSI standards.
And so what's ANSI?
ANSI is the...
Not ANTSY, ANSI.
Yes, that's the standard for measuring homes that appraisers and real estate agents are being held to at this point.
Okay, so we cannot use that basement as gross living area. Could you please repeat that?
Yeah,
for our listeners.
People don't understand that. I did all of this and I finished the basement.
This is finished. I have a bedroom. I have a family room. I have a 3/4 bath. I have a laundry room.
I have a theater.
I could walk out to my backyard. It's on ground level.
If any of the level is underground to as low as 3%, the whole level is considered basement. It's very simple. Just look at all four corners of that level. If some of it is underground, it's basement.
Okay, that's a battle. Do you understand that? For us.
Oh, yeah. I understand the fact that it's a battle because, yes, you can put a lot of money into a finished basement. I have a finished basement in my home, and I can understand where homeowners are coming from, but that doesn't justify the fact the actual person reading the report is going to be Fannie and Freddie, and they're held to ANSI standards. So even if a home sold 3 years ago, 8 years ago, 12 years ago, and there's MLS data on the property calling it a 5-bedroom home with 2 bedrooms in the basement, us as professionals, when we go there, if that level is partially underground, it's a basement.
So, in our listing data, we have in the MLS, we have a home and we have to list how many rooms there are, how many bedrooms there are, how many bathrooms there are. If there's basement, they're below grade bedrooms, can we put them in the bedroom count?
I would say not. It'd be misleading. They're not bedrooms. They're not considered bedrooms. When I labeled the photos on a form for Fannie and Freddie, I labeled them 2 layers of lines. First one says finished basement, and then if the lender requests, I can say it's a bedroom. You can utilize it as a bedroom. You could utilize it as whatever you want, but it's not actually called a bedroom.
Okay, let's walk upstairs. We're upstairs. Now, so on some of these old homes, you go to the second floor. You land into a room. Off that room, there are other rooms and a bathroom. There's a window and there's a closet in this room. Is it a bedroom?
Again, by ANSI standards, that's not a bedroom. You could call that a den and utilize it as a bedroom, but that's going to get traffic throughout the night from other bedrooms accessing a bathroom. Therefore, it cannot be considered a bedroom. Now, if you have a full bathroom on the first floor and you could uninterrupt traffic and get to that bathroom, then I guess you could force feed that into a bedroom. But if there's traffic through the night or through the day, for that matter, from other bedrooms to access a bathroom, it's not considered a bedroom.
The 10 families over the last 80 years that lived in this house utilized it as a bedroom.
Utilized. Keyword.
Okay. And there's a bed in this room. And it has never adversely affected their living conditions. They want it as a bedroom. You can't use it.
By rights, you can't do it per ANSI standards.
Okay. So if a room is large enough to put a bed in it and a dresser in it, and it doesn't have a closet, is it a bedroom?
Sure. Closet's not necessary. You can utilize a dresser. They were utilized before closets were even made up.
Do you know that's most people don't know that realtors, public people think that
It has to have a
We need to have
closet, right?
Yeah. We need to have something in our bag to make us feel like we're professionals.
Okay, well, all right. What about a window? Is that a must-have?
Yeah, you got to have a window. You got to have a way out. There must be a way out. Ingress, egress, you must be able to exit that bedroom.
Okay, how about going back to that lower level we were talking about that's finished? And the windows, you could not physically fit through those windows. You don't have a means of ingress, egress, either a door or a bilco area where you can escape the basement. Does that impact anything in terms of what you do?
I would think it does. I don't know the exact direct answer to that, but you must be able to get in and out with 2 ways, 2 passages, both in and out. And if you're in there with only one way out, it's going to be hard as ANSI gets deeper. They just reared their head in the last couple of months, and they're holding appraisers' feet to the fire for measurements of properties, for not utilizing areas that are open to below, for having proper measurements throughout rounded to a half a foot, or they've got high standards nowadays, and I would imagine when they're done with the appraisers, they'll go right to the agents and hold their feet to the fire as well. So that is a very interesting question that I would love to get to the bottom of, and I will try to research that for you and get back to you at a later date. But as a new construction home is being built, I do see these. They've got larger sliding windows. They've got the earth dug out so they can get out, so they can utilize it as square footage of finished basement. So if there's only one way in, one way out, I would not think that is any good and possible to utilize for value.
With us today is William Kelly, certified residential appraiser with Jack Ruddy Appraisal Services. How does someone get in touch with you, please?
They can reach me at my email, wkelly312@comcast.net. They can also call my office, which is 570-471-3204. And they can also call the John A. Ruddy Appraisal office, which is 570 344-6724.
Thank you, Bill. Pat?
Yes, we have a duplex for sale. It's at 802 Music Street in Scranton for $179,000. This 2-unit, it's freshly renovated with beautiful hardwood floors, new paint, new kitchens, new baths. Everything has been done to this lovely home. The first floor unit is a 1-bedroom and the second floor unit is a 2-bedroom. This property is minutes away from downtown, a Geisinger Hospital, and the University of Scranton. There's off-street parking and very reasonable taxes of only $2,500 a year. That's a 2-unit at 802 Music Street in Scranton for $179,000, and that's listed by Christy Shannon of our office.
Thank you, Pat. In June, the percentage of homes on the market receiving multiple offers fell below 50% for the first time in more than 2 years, and this is according to Redfin. They found that 49.9% of offers received competition in June, and that's down more than 15% year over year and down 7.4% from May. This is the 5th consecutive month of decline in the percentage of multiple offers. Townhomes were more likely to have buyers in a bidding war, followed by single-family homes, then condos, co-ops, and multifamily properties. Philadelphia still has a higher percentage of homes receiving multiple offers. They're at 65.7%, and they're the third highest of metros in the United States. Yet, it's still a decrease for Philly from both May 2022 and year over year. We're also seeing longer days on the market. We're also seeing a change in the market where buyers were once waiving inspections and offering above asking. Now the tide has shifted.
You mean returning to sanity?
Some homes are still getting multiple offers. Some are still waiving contingencies, but they're seeing it shift. If the right house at the right price hits the market, buyers are jumping on it, but they're not giving away their pensions.
Thank God.
Or their firstborn or anything else.
Okay. Or
all
the
right?
dog.
Or the dog. Showings are also down 18.7% year over year, and that's representing the third consecutive month of decline. But the Northeast was the smallest decline in showings at just 10.9% year over year. Comparatively, the West saw a 44% decrease in showings from June 2021. Homes are still moving quickly off the market, and according to Realtor.com, homes spent an average of 32 days on the market in June. That's down 11% year over year. Home prices are up. There are more listings than last year, which are giving consumers more choices. Active listings in June reached a 19% year over year increase. Now, that's nationwide, all of that, right?
Right.
Locally, Greater Scranton Realtor statistics. Let's see. As of July, new listings year-to-date were down 6.4%. Active listings year-to-date were down 11%.
Wow.
Sold listings year-to-date down 5.7%. Median sold price is $191,000, and that's up 11%. Median days on market is down 15%, and they're just staying on the market a mere 11 days.
This sounds like supply and demand, doesn't it?
Classic.
No supply and the price goes up.
Okay, stay with the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. We'll be right back. When considering to sell or buy a home, why choose Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate? Let me tell you why. 70% of home buyers settle for the first agent they meet, and many regret it. 90% of home sellers hire an agent, but was it the right choice? Don't have agent remorse. I'm Jackie Ruddy, and I've been in and around the real estate business for most of my life. And at Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, we've been selling real estate for half a century. But we do not do it halfway. You deserve better than average. Average doesn't help you. We know it's all about you and what you need. Century 21 is the #1 in brand awareness, is the most recognized name in real estate, and is the most respected in the industry. In this market, if you dream big, you need to move fast. So it makes perfect sense to contact Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, 570-344-6724, and visit jruddy.com. That's JRUDDY.com. Welcome back to the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with my husband, fellow realtor Pat Devaney.
And we're back.
With William Kelly, certified residential appraiser with John Ruddy Appraisal Services. John Ruddy was my dad, often referred to as Jack Ruddy. That's Century 21 Jack Ruddy. And then he had John Ruddy Appraisal Services. He was the certified residential appraiser for many years until his death in 2009. But I'm going somewhere with all of this. Today, September 17th, is his birthday.
Oh, how old would Jack have been?
He would be 93 today.
Wow.
Yes. So, how about that? And here you are, right?
Happy birthday, Jack.
William Kelly.
Yes.
Certified residential appraiser. We didn't plan it this way. It just happened to be that way.
Irony.
Very much so. I want to say hello. I'd like to do shout outs. So I'd like to say hello to Susan Balzoni, who emailed us, and she mentioned that she listens to our show faithfully and likes to tune in and appreciates us, and we appreciate you, Susan. So thank you for always taking the time to listen to what we share on the airwaves. Okay, William Kelly, certified residential appraiser. In the beginning of our show today, you mentioned what you do, how long you've been doing it. Could you recap, please, for me?
Yeah, I'm a certified residential appraiser out of Music, working out of your office in Dunmore. I currently do residential appraisals, 1 to 4 unit multifamily appraisals. I can do them for a multitude of reasons. I can do them for a bank loan, which I'd be contracted through an AMC. I could do them for any type of personal use you would need an appraisal for, say a divorce, a settlement, someone going into a home. There's a multitude of reasons why someone may need an appraisal.
An estate.
An estate. And then I could do them for that. And
Death of a loved one.
Death of a loved one as well. Anytime something comes up, there's a good need for appraisals. And I do notice over time that many people that are selling homes, sometimes they'll purchase an appraisal ahead of time, and it really protects them. And I've really seen great results when someone pairs an appraisal with the sale of a property. I've seen better results for the person selling the property.
Well, a lot of times what I find is when people call us at the real estate office, they're thinking about selling. And they'll say, we want an appraisal. But a lot of times they don't know what that means. So an appraisal, how would you define an appraisal? A certified residential appraisal. It's a report. It's 30 plus pages long. It could be used in the court of law, but it's something that the consumer, the public would pay for. They confuse that with the term competitive market analysis, also CMA, which is usually something a real estate agent can provide. They don't need an appraiser's license, and that's free of charge when one lists the property. So it's funny that you should mention, not funny, but it's
they're two separate things,
good
completely
for you
separate.
to mention that it is something that people should really think about doing, because you don't have a real estate license. You can actually give an objective view of market value,
which in turn helps the seller to avoid many infractions along the process, whether the home was listed high or just to make sure the home wasn't listed too low. When I do an appraisal, it's as of a specific date, and it's going to be something that's backable and it's provable. There's a methodology how I arrive at value. This way here, if I arrive at a value, they'll know what their house should bring in the open market.
How long does it take you to do an appraisal? Not only to go to the house, go through it, take measurements, take pictures, do your research. How long does it take you? How many hours are spent on one appraisal, one report?
I guess you would say it's probably about 20 to 30 minutes in the home, basically measuring and gathering data and speaking with the homeowner on improvements, recent improvements of that nature. And then on the computer, like you said earlier, it's about a 35-page report, scanning in documents, tax records. It's probably 6 to 8 hours on average to complete a creditable appraisal report for a single-family home. And likewise with a 1 to 4 unit multifamily, I would like to think that the portion of the time spent in the home is longer there because you've got a couple apartments and you're getting more data and taking count of more items. So that one might turn to an hour visit on a 4-family. But at the end of the day, you're still doing roughly 6 to 8 hours of computer work to complete a good product.
And you don't do commercial. Commercial's a different animal.
Different animal. I do not do commercial.
It's a different license.
Yes.
Okay. So what would one expect to spend on an appraisal? Ballpark, going rates for a single family?
Single family appraisal, I would probably charge $400. And then for a multifamily 1 to 4 unit, I would probably charge $600.
Okay.
That's for the average property. If it's anything unique, then it might be a little more. If it's something I've done in the past, it could be a little less. So all these are just estimates. There's no direct cost associated.
Just to give the listener some idea of what to expect to spend if they were to choose to do an appraisal. Now, at the beginning of the show, we were talking about gross living areas, square footage, lower levels that are finished, bedrooms that are walkthroughs. Can they be considered a bedroom in a home? And what about heating sources? So if a room, bedroom, or any kind of room doesn't have a heat source, how do you view that room?
Well, they could be a little bit unique, and depending on who I'm viewing that room for. So if I was viewing that room for, say, a lender in a real estate transaction of sale of a property, and then you would break that down now, is it FHA or is it non-FHA? So for FHA standards, each room should have a heat source, or the appraiser must be able to prove that the remainder of the home could keep that room at a constant temperature without overstressing the heating system, long as it breaks down to a simple matter that that room can stay warm like the rest of the house without the heat.
There's a lot of people over the years, the old steam boilers, that pulled the radiators from bedrooms. That's a problem in today's world. And they would get too hot. You know, you shut the door, you have a small room, you have the radiator blasting away, and it's overheated. So they pulled the radiators and threw them away. Could you imagine? So it's, like I said, a problem.
At that particular point, the easiest situation for that room would be that you just add a baseboard electric, and then the appraiser would probably have to call it multiple heat sources, so it'd be gas dash electric.
Okay.
It can be solved. It's not a riddle that's too hard to solve.
So you don't have to chop off the room.
No, you don't chop off the room. You're just going to add a heat source that's permanent.
Okay.
Baseboard electric would probably be my first guess.
All right, good. Thank you, Bill. Will you come back next week, please?
I will. I'd be
you.
glad to come back.
How does
next
someone
week.
get in touch with you?
They can reach me at WKELLY312@Comcast.net. They can call my phone at 570-471-3204, and they can reach me via the office, which is 570-344-6724.
Thank you. Pep?
Yes, we have. So if you're looking for land, are you looking for a place to build? Because I think I might have it here. We have 7.5 acres of land just across the road from Lake Henry at 2009 Maplewood Road in Jefferson Township for $80,000. This land is bordered with a stone wall. It has 225 feet of road frontage, and it goes back 850 feet. It was perk tested several years ago, so that would have to be done again. But this property is worth your attention. There is a Century 21 sign out front, so you know exactly where you are. So take a look at 2009 Maplewood Road in Jefferson Township, across from Lake Henry, for 7.5 acres for $80,000, and that's listed by Karen Kashuba of our office.
Thank you, Pat. Okay, I'm going to ask both you and Bill.
Uh-oh. Questions?
Yes, a question. Can you guess what the rudest city in the country is?
Seattle.
New York.
I knew you were going to guess that. DC, you want to take a shot at it?
Philadelphia.
How did you know that?
Because I don't like Philly either.
Yes, Philly. Prepley surveyed more than 1,500 residents of the 30 largest metro areas, and Philly came out on top, the rudest. Then it was followed by Memphis, then New York City. Yes. How about that? interesting information. We're out of time. Thanks for joining the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Remember to tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m. on 94.3 The Talker.